Okay, hello everybody. We're here on the Washington Mall in Washington, D.C. with the 1776 Restoration Movement. You're on Liberty's Voice and interviewing Rhonda this morning. It is Sunday, July 10th, if I didn't mention that. Rhonda, we just kind of want to know a little bit about you, why you're here, what this movement means to you. So just feel free to speak from your heart and let us know, let the people out there know how you feel and why you're here.
Okay. So Rhonda, I'm from western Nebraska, about 1,600 miles from here. I'm one of those that have been following the protests since they were in Canada, not even here yet. My dad was a truck driver, and I know that he would have been a part of this. He's been gone for 12 years now. But this has been calling to me since then. I was ready to go to Canada. And then, it started here in America, and the truckers that went across the country. I was lucky enough to stand on a couple overpasses, but I was too scared to make the trip by myself, to go by myself. So the last time when they were coming back to DC from California, I had driven my friends and family nuts enough with what was going on with the convoys that I had one friend that she wanted to go with me. So we drove to Sydney, Nebraska, which is a couple of hours from where I'm from, and met with the convoy that night. On the way home, that was a real quiet drive, and my friend goes, "I want to go." I said, "I want to go." I said, "I feel like if we don't, we're going to regret it for the rest of our lives." So we had made up our minds that we were coming, and all hell broke loose, and everything changed. And I was on the phone with my friend. I said, "Well, it looks like there's some people who aren't ready to give up yet." She goes, "Oh, well, we're going." I said, "You bet we're going."
Cool.
But her and myself and her husband came out for a week, and we hung out in Bunker Hill and helped them out there. In the middle of all that, Santa had said we were going to be doing something big on the 4th. And I went home and I told my family that I wanted to be back for the 4th. And everybody's been really supportive, even though they don't really understand. And the longer I'm here, the less they understand and the less supportive they are. But I'm here, and I'm here because I have a 5-year-old son. I have nieces and nephews. My friends have kids. And I don't want them to grow up in a world where they have nothing. They have no freedoms, no liberty. They can't help make the rules. They will just have nothing. And I don't want that for our future.
So as far as your family and friends, do they all support you in being here, or what kind of feedback do you get from them and from I know you have a job and you've taken some time off from there. How does your employer, are they working with you, or?
It's really funny with my employer because I'm not that far from Wyoming, and they were going to be doing a protest in Wyoming, and I had asked him, if I could have a day off to go do that. And he's like, "Yeah, don't get arrested," And that ended up falling through. We didn't get to go. Well, when we decided that we were coming to Bunker Hill, I went and asked him for a week off, which is a very big deal. I'm a lawn technician. This is our busy time.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're really getting into this, aren't you?" I said, "I've wanted to go for 6 months." I said, "Now I have somebody to go with me." And he said, "Well, let me look at some things." Well, he went ahead and gave me the time off, and then I come back and I asked for 2 weeks off. And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "Can I just ask you what you're doing?" And I said, "Well, right now," I said, we're educating people. We're trying to restore the Constitution. We're go back to a constitutional republic. And we talked a little bit, and he said, "Well, let me look at some things." And he comes back and he says, 2 weeks too long. He said, "That'll put us farther behind." So I got 12 days. Yeah. But really supportive from him. I was on the phone with my mom yesterday, and she's upset that I'm still here and that I didn't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I am leaving this morning. She said, well, you have responsibilities. And I said, well, my only real responsibility is that little boy. I said, I'm doing more for him here than I am at home paying bills. And you know, she wasn't seeing it that way yesterday. But this morning she's had kind of a change of heart. So I told her that I would go back home and get my stuff straightened out, figured out, set right with my boss, and I'm coming back.
That's cool. And you have to go, you said you're 1,600 miles from home. So you'll leave this today and meet probably shortly after this interview, and you're going to basically drive home. You're going to take 2 days to get home by yourself across the country. Do you have anything to say to anyone, just the general public out there, and why they're not willing to be here and support what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like me and you're one of the people who watch the live streams and you pay attention to what's going on, but you have I have a job, I have kids, and the excuses that you use not to come, I did that for a long time. And when I came, there's nothing like it. You can't get the feeling that's here from a live stream. You can't understand, even though you think you do. You don't understand until you're here and you feel it. It's the most amazing thing, the whole thing.
Well, and you know, so we have a lady here that's willing to drive 1,600 miles to stand up against this tyranny and you know, leave her child at home with her mother, walk away from her job for a few weeks, take a risk of possibly losing her job, and then we've got men out there that are not willing to drive 2 hours, 3 hours to come and see what this is really all about. This is much more than this is no longer a convoy. We are taking a stand. We are not leaving, and you know, until we get what we want from this government. So, and you guys out there, if you're making excuses for not being here, this interview right here should take some of those away, I hope. So, anything else?
It's a battle of good versus evil. And you can feel the good radiating around this group.
Absolutely.
Let me ask this question. Go stay safe. Do you have any male friends, and have you talked to them about it, or have you talked to any girlfriends, you know, and asked them, you know, come on just for the weekend? Or
I think, you know, they think I'm a little bit nuts. They won't say it, of course, you know, oh, that's cool, you know.
Why do they think you're nuts? What is it about this that makes people think that you're nuts?
I don't have a good answer for that. I mean, I'm from a real conservative area. You know, people agree with the things we say, you know, the big government and the problems. Everybody's too busy working and trying to pay their bills to live, and that's not living. Working to pay bills is not living.
No, it's not.
And that's what they're doing. And are they afraid to stand up and fight for what's theirs? No. You better believe if the government decides to start coming to doors, they're going to stand up and fight. But by then it's going to be too late.
Do you think that we need to, as a group, better define what stand up and fight means? It's kind of like the word we walk around yelling freedom. You need to better define what you mean by freedom.
Right.
We're using very general terms.
Yeah, standing up and fight isn't, you know, getting physical with somebody. Standing up and fighting, to me and here, is just standing up for freedom and letting a tyrannical government know that we've had enough of it and it's time to change some things.
So you have a job that you know, you're having to work hard to earn your paycheck, and you have friends who are working hard to earn their paychecks. Does it not bother them? Have you talked to them about the $5 a gallon. Ask them, where's their line in the sand? When is it too much that they have to choose between driving to work and getting a gallon of milk?
Yeah.
You know, you have $10 gallon of milk and a $10 gallon of gas.
Yeah.
You know, what do your friends say? Do you talk to them at all about that?
Sometimes, you know, most of them, they just complain about it and go on about their day, and they're done. I don't understand why people aren't willing.
So they're
to
caught in life's tunnel.
Yeah.
And just can't, with blinders on. Yeah. They just can't see the big picture.
Yeah, I have to buy the gas, so I'm gonna buy the gas.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody that I know is in a position yet where they have to choose between milk or fuel, but
something's got to be pinching.
I mean,
something's got to be pinching.
Something.
Because everything's gone up. Yeah. I mean, everything has gone up exponentially. I mean, not a little bit, but
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, there's people who are, you know, not able to fix their cars, and they have to figure something.
Can't get the
else
parts
out.
to fix the cars.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the reason I'm asking you these questions is because, hi everybody, this is Jenny. Is because we're of a different age group, and we're not going to say how old I am, but I'm trying because I want to be able to reach out to your age group, and try and communicate with them better. And that's why I'm asking you these questions, to try and give me an idea of how I can better communicate to them.
I don't know what the breaking point for them is going to be.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm worried it's going to be when it's too late.
And that's my fear too.
Well,
yeah.
And you know, when it gets to a point where the gas prices are so high and we decide that we're just going to quit going on this vacation because we can't afford it, and we're not going to buy this new car because we can't afford it, and we're just going to continue to go to work, try to struggle and try to pay our bills to get by day, that's not living. We should not have to give up our hobbies and
comforts
freedoms
in life
to live. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And if you think that this next election is going to change that, we know that the elections are corrupt. We know that the election was stolen. If you don't know that, you're not paying attention. So, if we don't put a stop to the overreach and the illegal, the election fraud and things like that, we're just going to keep cowering down to this government and just keep giving up our rights and our freedoms until we have nothing. And if you think it's a struggle for us now, what do your children and grandchildren have to look forward to, in 6, 8, 10, 12 years from now? It's not going to get any easier or any better for them. So that should be the number one reason. Just like Rhonda is taking a stand and joining us here in D.C.,
where it's not comfortable, where this is not a kumbaya fest. Yeah. We are not sitting around campfires and drinking beer, and we are here actively protesting. This is an active protest.
And this is not a cult, as some people say. And I tell you, all you have
you didn't get that Kool-Aid last night? I had some great Kool-Aid last night.
I wouldn't mind trying the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Rhonda, I will get you that Kool-Aid.
And all you have to do is get in your cars and come here, even if it's for a day or two, and see the camaraderie, see the spiritualness in this movement. Everything's provided here. In the convoys, they provided the fuel every day when we did the convoys. But now we're no longer convoying. We have several of us that are making runs back and forth to the base camp to get supplies every day. But we've just been fed a wonderful breakfast this morning by 82 and 84-year-old couple that cooks every day for us and absolutely loves doing it.
Never complains.
So never complains about anything. Always smiling. We have breakfast, we have dinner every night. You're going to be fed. Everything you need is going to be provided.
Your needs are taken care of. They really are.
Come and see what this is all about. And we've got people on the way here. Our numbers are going to double in the next week, and it should be thousands.
We
So
need
stop
that.
making excuses.
We need you.
And get here.
We need you. So, you know, how is the grocery stores looking in your area? Because I have a friend, Kim, that you've met, and she couldn't. There was in the deli. She was brought us sandwiches for yesterday, and the deli, she said there was turkey and there was ham. And there was nothing else in between. She said the entire deli case was empty.
Yep.
Why does that not terrify people? What does that look like in your area? Are you all seeing it?
It's the same. You know, the prices are going through the roof, and you're lucky that you're gonna get what you need some days. It scares me, but I also have a freezer full of meat and a garden.
Right.
And
you're self-sufficient to a degree.
Yeah, and I've gotten better at it in the last few years. Because,
right.
You know, we've seen this coming.
Yes. The writings, we've been warning everybody.
Yep.
We've been telling everybody.
And it's not just the last couple of years.
No.
This has been for decades.
Yes, it has.
For decades. Like, we have a big mess to clean up. It's taken too long.
And we're not going to be able to do it, right? It's not going to be us that's going to be able to get it done. What we're doing is laying the groundwork to get that started, so that you, like mine, I'll be done, you know, but you can continue on and then make it better for your son, and then on and on and on.
Yes.
Well, I know our grocery stores, what I've noticed, and if you're not waking up and noticing that when billion-dollar companies such as Walmart have big empty gaps on their shelves, if you do not understand that supply chain line, you need to go read some economics, because when a billion-dollar company, and this is how it works with a billion-dollar company, they have their own suppliers. And when they can't get it, that means the little supplier, they're not going to get it. And it's right on down the chain. I've noticed the grocery stores that I noticed probably about 5 years ago, they were downsizing their product lines. Like, they might still have grape jelly, but they only have 2 grape jelly brands to choose from. But they're also, have you noticed, they are, when they're downsizing, they're only putting in the companies that are really big companies, like a Nabisco, Coca-Cola companies, Pillsbury companies, you know, that type of thing. All the little guys are getting pushed out.
Well, I think people are buying the little guys more because they're
I think they are.
expensive, and then they run out.
I'm perpetually, everybody, that's Simon.
We love Simon.
And Simon can go on for hours. Hours. Well, the positive that I'm seeing come out of this is, because I always like to end on a positive. The positive I'm seeing come out of this is we are reaching across the aisle. I think, you know, because we're not about any political party, but I am starting to see people that were, you know, extremists. Well, yeah, maybe you were a little bit right. It's starting to crack. We're starting to see some fissures in this granite wall.
Yes.
But also that people are kind of getting back to the farmer's market, the local butcher, buying a cow and sharing it with their neighbor. And that camaraderie, I think that camaraderie is part not only of the human spirit, but that's a real Americana. I mean, Americans are resourceful.
Well, we're supposed to take care of our neighbors. We're supposed to help each other.
We are.
And this country has lost a lot of that. We need to get back.
We need to get back to it. We do.
Absolutely.
Well, Rhonda, you got a big drive heading back, and I know I kept saying for days I need to interview. I'm glad I caught you literally hours before you leave. You keep in touch. We've all got exchanged phone numbers, and you know you're going to be coming back.
I'll be back.
And I know you're going to shed a tear pulling out. We all do. I've got to do it. I've got to do it this week. You know, it's going to be extremely hard, but you'll be back. because, you know, because you're a patriot, because you're serious. You're very serious about this. All right.
This is a great movement. And
Yes.
everybody should come, even if it's for a day.
Yes, that's what we keep trying to tell people.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to be a long, you're not going to be put over in a group or anything because you're day trippers. We want everybody here.
Yes.
We do. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. All right, my dear, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I know you need to get on. All right, everybody, this is Jenny on Liberty's Voice. You heard Bob Hayden, and he's Indiana Patriot. He's the lead in Indiana and is running the 1776 group there. So, Rhonda, you need to go back and start your group. And, yeah, don't you?
Absolutely.
You know, and I think Bob will be a great resource and tell you how to do that. You know, so, all right, everybody, we're going to say bye. Okay, let's see. There we go. And it's over. See, that wasn't